Hello everyone, good morning. So today we'll be discussing about our jimti agar purbaru discuss karthilu NCERT based polity MCQs simti aji bi same jinso chalibo and it would be our third session kahiyau gale. So I hope you will be ready for the session. Okay, let me wait for some people to join, then we'll start the session. Good morning. Good morning, Fisha. Okay, so as some people are joining, so we'll start. Good morning, everyone. Again, I'm starting the session that good morning. Welcome to CAGS IS. Today we'll be discussing about our NCERT based polity MCQs and which is very important. I know the last two जो भी MCQ हमें discuss करते लो, they were very good morning Satyaranjan. Those were very like very basic कहियो गले. So today also we'll be discussing only the NCERTs because it is nothing like कि आमे लक्ष्मीकांत through NCERTs pick करिबु and then we'll be discussing it. So it will ସେଇଟା କ'ଣ ଯୋଉମାନେ preparation କରୁଛନ୍ତି for them it would be very ଯୋଉମାନେ ବହୁତ ପୂର୍ବରୁ preparation କରୁଛନ୍ତି for them it would be very beneficial, but those who are the beginners ସେମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ NCERT is very important and even for the people who are or the aspirants who are practicing even right now for so many years, they also make mistakes in बहुत छोटो छोटो questions रे, like very easy questions रे mistake अधिक हुए because we'll be overconfident about our answers, that's why. So let's start the session. So CAGS brings you OCS foundation course of 2026 and 2027 where you will get comprehensive syllabus coverage, ता सहित textbooks, notes and even your prelims and mains test series, ता सहित personal mentorship with online and offline courses or classes कहियो गले. So now let's start. Let's start with our first question of the day, that is good morning Khushi. Let's start with the first question of the day, that is which of the following are the purpose of the constitution? Okay, which of the following are the purpose of the constitution? First, it lays out, it forms the basis of the kind of country. Second statement says it defines the nature of the country's political system. Third says it prevents tyranny or domination by the majority over minority. Fourth says it helps to save us from ourselves. Select the correct answer. Select the correct answer using the code given below. 1, 2, 3, 2 and 4, 1 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Co statement correct achi kuh. Which option would be correct? Which option would be correct? Anyone? Anyone? The both easy question ta eta ko ette time ko mai lauchi. Option 4. Khushi says, Fisha says option 4, Khushi says option 4. Okay. So jehetu who jana option 4 kohachandi, we'll see like option 4, that means 4 statements are correct. So we'll see ki kon achi. So it says about the purpose of the constitution, ki constitution a purpose kona. You all very well know that we have our the longest written constitution. So tara purpose kona, we'll discuss it in these 4 statements. It lays out certain ideals that form the basis of the kind of country we have. Okay, so it our constitution has certain ideals like equality, liberty, all these ideals we have. So based on that, we lay the, it gives a crux of the nature of our constitution. Then it says that it defines the nature of country's political system. What would be the our country's political system? Our country's political system, that is, we have a democratic system of government. Okay, that is elected by the people, and even societies. So it defines the nature of the so this statement is correct and the statement becomes correct. Then it says that it prevents tyranny or domination by the majority over minority. We have a system which says that that there are majority sections of people, there are minorities, and we live together. So our constitution makes us prevents from that those domination of the majority from the to the minority. So this statement eventually becomes correct. Then it says it helps us save us from ourselves. Why it is a very strange statement, but why it says like that, it how it helps, because there are certain things that we do based on liberty, you can say. I mean, liberty nahi ki bahut jinso kar do, as we have liberty, freedom of speech, expression, all these things. But there are certain restrictions which is imposed on us, so that we'll be saving ourselves against the so that larger interest, larger sections interest ko भी हमें save कर पारियो. So that हमें जो fundamental rights discuss करिया, then we'll be discussing how it saves us from ourselves. So this statement also becomes correct. So the 4 statements are correct. So answer would be option 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then comes your next question. Next question karo. Which of the following are features of Indian constitution? First, federalism. Second, parliamentary form of government. Third, fusion of powers. Fourth is secularism. What are the features of Indian constitution? The mixed question, mixed answers I am getting. Option 2. Option 2. FISA says option 1. 1 and 2, that is. Okay. Satyaranjan says D. Okay, let's see what are the features of Indian constitution. So first to discuss karda what are the features, then we'll go through the statements. First se kahichandi that what are the features of the Indian constitution. The features re first feature kon asibo, that we have a parliamentary form of government, or nine, sorry, first feature we'll take, that is we have the lengthiest written constitution. Lengthiest written constitution. Okay. Second says that, second statement says that second says that second kon hobo, drawn from different sources. Drawn from various sources. Kon hai various sources? You can say we have drawn our constitution from the Government of India Act of 1935, ता सहित British Constitution रू भी आनिଛୁ, American Constitution, Japan Constitution. We have brought so many things from different constitution and have put in our constitution. So it is drawn from various sources. ता सहित next is federal. Next is federal with unitary bias. Federal with unitary bias. Before I have discussed that federal mane kaun, federal is like state and combination of state and union. Mane center and the state will come together and work on it. When it comes to unitary, that is during emergency, say time re central will hold the utmost power. Okay, so we'll be discussing when emergency provisions will be coming. The next will be the parliamentary form of government. The parliamentary form of government. Then comes your secularism. Secularism, that we do not have any official religion. No state has any official religion for it. Tasata we have three-tier government. That is, we have the center, state, then we have local self-government. That is your panchayats and municipalities. Then we have separation of powers. Separation of powers. How these powers are separated? Separate the legislature, executive and judiciary. I hope most of you know that there are three organs of the government, that is the legislature, executive and judiciary. And the legislature elects the representatives and helps in and then when it comes to executive, it helps in making or implementing the laws, and when it comes to judiciary, it provides justice to us. So they have separate powers and which they work on it. It comes that we have universal adult franchise, that is the citizens 18 years through above they can vote. When it comes to ninth point, that would be our cooperative societies. Cooperative societies. Okay, so when it comes to this question, then federalism, yes, federalism is a basic feature, not basic feature, it is a feature of the constitution. Then parliamentary form of government, yes. When it comes to fusion of powers, no, it is not fusion of powers, it is separation of powers. Separation of powers. And then secularism is correct. So answer would be 1, 2 and 4, option 2. Then next question. I hope you are aware of the features of the constitution, and if you are not aware, do read it nicely again. Then the third question says, who was the chairman of the drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly? Who was the chairman of the drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly? Answer it. It's a very easy question. Okay, so we'll not take much time on it because it is a very easy question. So when our Constituent Assembly was trying to enact the constitution, or constitution banare jata Constituent Assembly was working on it, at that time they made certain committees which will handle certain things. So the first and foremost thing, that is drafting the constitution. कि constitution draft करा हबो कोटू कौन अणा हबो, how it will be drafted, in what language it will be drafted, everything, what features will be included in it, everything will be done by the drafting committee. So the chairman of the drafting committee would be Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So option, those who are saying option C, it is right. Then it comes, there are certain other committees also, so we cannot miss that, though it is not in the question, that doesn't mean that we can miss it. So Jawaharlal Nehru handled some committees, that is Union Powers Committee, and why these are important, because match the following रे question आस जाए, especially OPSC and even in your बाकी competitive exams रे भी इमती question आस जाए, match the following रे. Then comes state committee. ये सब committees रो chairman होचंदी पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू, and even your Union Constitution Committee. Then when it comes to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, so when it comes to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, he did Provincial Constitution Committee. And even he has chaired the advisory committee on fundamental rights also. Okay. And when it comes to K. Munshi, he is the member of drafting commission, member of the drafting committee. So I hope gotte question re तुमको तीनटा जिनस जना पड़ी गला. So like that only you have to approach the questions. Then next comes next question karo. What was the duration in making of Indian Constitution? कितने time लगी थिला? What was the duration of it? 1 year 10 months 12 days, B 2 years 10 months 5 days, C 2 years 11 months 18 days, D 3 years 6 months 7 days. Okay, then most of you are answering option C. So we'll see. So duration in making the constitution. Constitution जतलो बड़े को माने start करा हैतिला. So we'll discuss, before going to the question, we'll discuss the start date of the constitution. कि केबे start हैतिला, माने केबे बननेवा start हैतिला. When the constituent assembly was constituent assembly रो first meeting रू constitution बनेरो duration टा start हैला. So when the first meeting of the constituent assembly केबे हैतिला, December 9 1946 रे हैतिला. Okay, 1946. Then yes तुलसी option. Okay, then we'll see enactment, then we'll see the end date. End केबे हैतिला constitution बनेवारा end date टा केबे हैतिला. That is your November 26 1949, when the constitution got adopted. Adopt करा हैतिला ये दिनो constituent assembly रे. Then it says that duration केते होबो 2 years 11 months and 18 days. Okay, so option C is right. But we have to know also कि constitution से ना adopt है गला November 26 1949 रे, when it came into force केबे सेटा force रे और implementation रे आसिला, that is the enactment date. Enact date केबे होबो? What would be the enact date when it came into force? Anyone knows? That is your January 26 1950. On this date the constitution came into force. Okay, so now I hope you are clear with these things also. Then comes your next question, that is, consider the following statement. The Indian Constitution is 1. An unwritten constitution, 2. A written constitution, 3. Largely based on the Government of India Act 1935, 4. A gift of British Parliament. Of these statements, which are correct? Coco statements correct ache. Do answer it. Some of things are discussed also. Kohi sarchi already kitra jinso etre. कौन हबो ऑप्शन? Khushi says option B, Fisha B. Then one more Khushi. There are so many Khushis. भला एमती खुशी रे आंसर करो. Good. Okay. So most of you are saying option B. So let's see option कौन हबो. We'll see with the statements. The Indian Constitution is an unwritten constitution. Is it an unwritten constitution? No. It is the lengthiest written constitution. Okay, that then the statement 2 becomes right. Then largely based on the Government of India Act 1935. Yes, this statement is also correct, because as we said, discussed that the features of the Indian Constitution says that it is drawn from various sources, and one of the sources, Government of India Act 1935. Then comes a gift of British Parliament. Is it a gift of British Parliament? No. It is done and enacted by the Independent Sovereign Constituent Assembly. Okay, so it is not a gift of the British Parliament. So this statement is wrong. So option would be 2 and 3. 2 and 3 statements are correct. The option is B. Then next question karo. Next question says, what does the term secularism mean in the Indian context? Indian context re secularism ro mane kon? First statement says A, the statement promotes one specific religion. The state promotes one specific religion. B says the state remains neutral and maintains a principal distance from all religions. C says the state bans all religious practices. D, religious institutions control the government. Which option would be correct? Which option would be correct? Option B, option B. Both the Khusis are saying option B. Anyone else? Okay. It says about what does the term secularism mean in Indian context. Indian context re secularism ro mane kon? So now both time दिया है गला. That is, first statement says कौन देखिएगा कौन option B is right or wrong. First statement says the state promotes one specific religion. Secularism itself says that we do not promote one specific religion or any religion. We are secular. That means we do not have any official religion. we do not have any official state religion. And ta soito it says that when it comes to Indian context, it says that the state remains neutral over all the religions. Ta soito it maintains a principal distance in from all religions. What kind of principal distance? That it will not interfere in the matter, and until and unless there is certain kind of things which are being done, that is like abolishing untouchability practice jata habo, then state can intervene in it. Even when there are like injustice is done to some people based on it, based on the religion, then state can intervene in the religious matters. So that's why it says that according to Indian context, the secularism statement is B option is right. That is the statement, the state remains neutral and maintains a principal distance from all religions. So I hope you are well aware of what is the principal distance. Then so baki dita option dekhiya bhi darkar nahi, because the state bans all religious practices. No, it is not being it is not banning any religious practices, nor the religious institutions control the government. Then comes your next, then join Telegram channel of CAX IS so that you will get this PDF of or the PPT of it. Then attempt the next question, that is consider the following statements. First, in India, the government spaces like law courts, police stations are not supposed to display or promote any one religion. Second statement says government and private schools cannot promote any one religion either in their morning prayers or through religious celebrations. Which of the statement given above is or are not correct? So option is there. Choose the correct option. Choose the correct option. Choose the correct option. Khushi says both 1 and 2. Okay. Okay. So most of you are saying, both the Khusis has said that option 2 will be the right answer. Okay. Okay. How? देखिए कौन statement कौन गोची and why the 2 only is right answer. In India, the government spaces like law courts, police stations are not supposed to display or promote any one religion. Yes, as we are a secular country, or that's why we cannot in government spaces or like law courts, police stations है वाला या फिर any other places, public places, we cannot promote one religion promote any one religion. So the statement becomes right because it says that not supposed to display. Okay, so this statement is right. Then second says the government and the private schools cannot promote any one religion either in their either in their morning prayers or through religious celebrations. So it it says that the government and private schools, here there is a bit of gote difference achi, that only the government schools cannot promote any any religion either in their morning prayers or through religious celebration, whereas the private schools can do that. Okay, the private schools can do that. So this statement is wrong. So when it comes to which of the following statements are not correct, okay, so then option 2 becomes the right one. Okay, the option 2 becomes the right one. Not correct, Pacharji. That's why 2 is the right one. So you can say that private schools are allowed to promote any one religion either in their morning prayers or through religious celebrations. Then comes the next question, that is, the Indian Constitution grants the right to religious minorities communities to set up their own school and colleges. Second statement says Indian government can give financial aid to these religious communities on a preferential basis. Which of the following statements given above is or are correct? Kuda correct habo? Kuda correct habo? Fisa says only one. Khushi one. Okay. Okay, one. Okay. So we'll see. The Indian Constitution grants the right to religious minority communities to set up their own schools and colleges. It comes under jo mane bhi padhithibo fundamental rights. They will be well aware of it. This statements comes from directly Article 30. Article 30 ru a statement directly aschi that the Indian Constitution grants the right to religious minorities, minority communities manku to set up their own schools and colleges. Okay, so Article 30 says that. So this statement eventually becomes right. Then comes the Indian government can give financial aid to these religious communities on a preferential basis. Yes, the Indian government, the statement says the Indian government give financial aid to these religious communities. Yes, it gives the financial assistance, but not on preferential basis. It gives on non-preferential basis. Non-preferential basis. So that's why this statement becomes wrong. So option hela option 1 only is the right answer. There are certain things in the statements which says right, and then comes the last part which says which makes it the wrong statement. Okay, so now we'll see the next question, that is about the parliament. Parliament of India consists of which of the following? President, Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha. Consider the correct answer using the code given below. Which of the statement will be right one? It is very easy question, but those who are the beginners, they can do wrong. So that's why. Okay. So no need to take much time on this question, because the Parliament of India consists of three things, that is the President of India, then comes the Rajya Sabha, then the Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha is the upper house, then Lok Sabha is the lower house. So statement 1, 2, 3 is right. I hope no need to discuss more on this question. Let's move to the next question. Next question, that is, consider the following statements with reference to Indian Parliament. Indian Parliament upare question aschi, that is, the Indian Parliament is an expression of faith that the people of India have in principles of democracy. Second statement says the Parliament in our system has immense powers because it is representative of the people. Which of the following statements given above is or are not correct? बहुत से क्वेश्चन पढ़ो, then answer it. Khushi says both 1 and 2. खुशी, I hope, माने I wish that तुम्हें question डाउ बहुत सारी पढ़ो, then answer it. I know you are answering the right thing, but sometimes demand of the question asks something else. But I am happy that you are aware of the concepts of it. So most of you are answering the option 4 is the right one. देखिए दवा, that is the Indian Constitution is an expression of faith that the people of India have in the principles of democracy. Yes, Indian Constitution have that, gives us that faith of expression, that we can like rely on the principles of democracy, that we are democratic country. So this statement is right. Then comes the parliament in our system has immense powers because it is representative of the people. Yes, the members of the, yes, I know. I know that the demand of the question is asked. Kushi says that no. Yes, I know that the demand of the question asked was something else, and you have said the correct thing. But when it comes to the choosing the options, you have done the wrong one. Anyways, so the immense powers because it is the representative, because most of the members of the parliament are elected by the people directly and even sometimes indirectly. Then, so both the statements are correct, but when it comes to the question, which of the following statements above is not correct, it is asking. So neither of the two are not correct. Then comes your next statement question, that is, why does India have a parliamentary form of government? Why does India have a parliamentary form of government? A, to ensure only one party rules the country. B, to guarantee direct election of the president by citizens. C, to ensure executive accountability to the elected representatives of the people. D, to eliminate the role of state governments. So this is the quickest answer, like question or answer मतलब मिलची, that option C. Most of you are saying Doctor Strange. So many are saying option C. So we'll see the statements first. Why India has a parliamentary form of government? Okay. So first, why India has? Because it is like the executive is responsible to the legislature, and even it is interdependent on it. So then option C becomes the right one. But we cannot say that যেহেতু ସମସ୍ତେ କହିଦେଲେ that we cannot say that this statement is correct. We have to see the other options also. So first କହୁଛି that it ensures only one party rules the country. Does it? No. It ଏମିତି ହେଲେ କଣ ହବ? Autocracy ହେଇଯିବ. Autocracy ହେଇଯିବ. It won't be a democracy. It will be autocracy. Then it says to guarantee. So this statement is wrong. Then it comes to guarantee direct election of the president by citizens. President is indirectly elected by the electoral college, and electoral college re ke achandi, the elected members of the the legislative assemblies, the Lok Sabha, the Rajya Sabha, and even elected members of both the houses, elected members of the legislative assemblies, and even the elected members of the legislative assemblies of Delhi and Puducherry. So it is not directly elected, it is indirectly elected. Okay. So when it comes this one, it says about the presidential election upare. Presidential form of government को represent करे. Presidential form of government को, whereas we have parliamentary form of government. Then it says to ensure executive accountability to the elected representatives of the people. Yes, the executives are accountable to the elected members or the elected representatives of the people. Then to eliminate the role of state governments. No, we have a federal structure, federal form of government, so we cannot eliminate the role of the state governments. So this statement eventually becomes wrong. So option C is the right one. Then the next question says, what is the maximum strength of Rajya Sabha or the Council of States fixed by the Constitution? Answer karo. What is the maximum strength of Rajya Sabha fixed by the Constitution? What would be the option, right option? Okay, so let's not take much time on it. When it comes to the maximum strength of the Rajya Sabha, then it is 250. Okay, 250 members. So option B is the right one. So most of you have answered the right option. But let's discuss some things which needs to be discussed, which you need to know it. First, the Article 80. Article 80 says the Constitution fixes maximum strength of the Rajya Sabha to 250 members. Okay, say 250 members re. Division heji, that is, some are elected and some are nominated. So 238 members are elected representatives. Whereas 20 are nominated. And ke nominate kore? The president nominates it. When it comes to this, what strength, the maximum strength, the Constitution fixed, it is 250. But when it comes to the current actual strength, it is 245. That is the current actual strength right now. Okay, the current actual strength right now. Then can anyone answer that what is the maximum strength of Lok Sabha then? What would be the maximum strength of Lok Sabha? Strength of Lok Sabha by the Constitution kaya gale. When it comes to Constitution kete fix karche of the maximum strength of Lok Sabha. What would be the maximum strength of Lok Sabha? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, let me tell. The maximum strength of Lok Sabha is 550. 550. Okay. Before it was 550. Before it is 550, and from there we can distinguish that 530 are the elected representatives of state, and then comes the 20 are elected representatives of UT. UT, that is Union Territory. Then ago kete thila? It was 552 thila. Yes, Satyaranjan, you are right. Ago thila 552 when the 104th, that is 104th constitutional amendment, 104th constitutional amendment kon astila jetara, what it did, it ended the nomination of 2 Anglo-Indians. Okay, it ended the nomination of 2 Anglo-Indians. Then the strength became 550. So that's why the maximum strength is 550. But when it comes to actual strength, that Khushi has said that actual strength is 554. When it comes to the actual strength, ki ebe present strength kete achi? Present strength kete achi? is 543. Present strength is 543. Okay. Yes, 2 Anglo-Indian seats were now not nominated. Okay, cancelled. Why it was cancelled? Because during the formation of the constitution, at that time Anglo-Indian communities were there, but right now there are no Anglo-Indian communities. That's why तांको representation दवा ପାଇଁ भी किछि माने necessary नहीं. That's why the 104th constitutional amendment said that the 2 Anglo-Indian seats will be ended. Okay, that's why 550 becomes the maximum strength. When it comes to the present strength, it is 543. Okay, so now I hope we have discussed more than the question. Then comes your next statement. Next question karo. Next question karo. The Rajya Sabha functions primarily as representative of the state of India. It is in respect of Rajya Sabha. Okay, Rajya Sabha upare question achi. The Rajya Sabha functions primarily as a representative of the state of India in the parliament. Second says the Rajya Sabha can also initiate legislation. Third says the members of the Rajya Sabha are elected by the elected members of the legislative assemblies of various states. Fourth statement says there are 233 elected members in the Rajya Sabha. Some things are already discussed, some are not. So I hope you can answer it rightly. Which of the statements are correct? Option को. Okay. Satyaranjan says option D, that is, I guess 4 you are saying. Then Khushi 1, 2, 3, 4. Khushi says 4, option 4. So we'll see. With respect to Rajya Sabha, it is saying. So Rajya Sabha functions primarily as a representative of the state of India in the parliament. Yes, it is. It functions primarily as a representative of the state. Represent kore state ko. Okay. The members of Rajya Sabha ko ho gale. Then it comes. The Rajya Sabha can also initiate legislation. Yes. Without Rajya Sabha, there would not be any acts or legislative thing which can be done. Like you would have known, basic jinso tame janti ho that the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha approves a bill and then it is passed to the president for its assent. Then the bill becomes an act. So there are certain things where Rajya Sabha can also initiate the legislation process. That is, it can also introduce certain bills in its house. That's why this statement is also correct and this one is correct. Then members of the Rajya Sabha are elected by the elected members of the legislative assemblies of various states. Yes, when you will be reading the elected members, how the members of the Rajya Sabha are elected, then you will know the members of the Rajya Sabha are elected by the elected members of the legislative assemblies of various states. So this statement is also correct. Then there are 233 elected members in the Rajya Sabha. Yes, according to the present thing, there are 233 elected members. When it comes then, and 20 nominated members, and 20 nominated members, and nominated by whom? By the president. By the president. From different background, different social art, literature, from different eminent personalities are getting nominated by the president. So the statement option is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the next question. The next question. With reference to rule of law, consider the following statements. First says the member of the Constituent Assembly instituted several provisions in Constitution that would establish the rule of law. Second statement says the rule of law means is that all laws apply equally to all citizens of the country and no one can be above the law. Which of the following statements given above is or are correct? Which one is correct? Which of the statements are correct? Okay, so let's discuss. Sipachachi rule of law bisare. So rule of law mainly is propounded by A.V. Dicey. Okay, A.V. Dicey was a scholar. He said he said about he introduced this rule of law thing, concept of rule of law. Rule of law concept re kaun hochi that there would be no arbitrary power of the state, that the state will not overpower any citizen based on anything କହିବାକୁ ଗଲେ, there will not be any restrictions କହିବାକୁ ଗଲେ, but there are certain things which also be uh, which is seen also, that is the rule of law means all laws apply equally to all citizens of the country and no one can be above the law. It says about the all laws, jeti bhi laws achi that apply to all equally to all citizens, equally ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ apply habo, whether it is the president, whether it is the governor, whether anyone dignitary, ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ equally laws will be applied and no one can be above the law. So this statement is right. Then when it comes to the first statement, the members of the Constituent Assembly instituted several provisions in the constitution that would establish the rule of law. It says that the members of the Constitution Assembly, they'll say Constitution bonothile, then they included certain provisions which said about, which established the rule of law, which you will be knowing in your mostly MCQs रे तमे जान दबो कि किमती rule of law आसीची. Okay, establish ହେଇଛି. So this statement is also correct. So option 3 will be the right answer, that is both 1 and 2. Then your second last question, which of the following feature of the Indian constitution, Indian government system, feature of the Indian government system are essential features of the parliamentary form of government? It says about the features of the parliamentary form of government. First, presence of nominal and real executive. Second, membership of the ministers in the legislature. 3, separation of powers between the union and the state governments. 4, independent judiciary system. Fourth, independent judiciary system. Answer karo. Which will be the essential feature of the parliamentary government system, parliamentary form of government କହିବାକୁ ଗଲେ. Which would be the correct answer? कौन right answer अब ये question रा? Anyone? Anyone? What would be the answer? What would be the answer? Okay, so most of you are saying 1 and 2 is the right one, right statements. So we'll see कौन कौन. First देखिए parliamentary features कौन कौन. Then we'll see कि statement कोडा right होचे. Okay. Then it says about essential feature of parliamentary form of government. So first essential feature of the parliamentary form of government is this one, that is the presence of nominal and real executive. So we have two types of executive, that is the nominal and the real executive. And who is the nominal head of the government? it is the president is the nominal head. President is the nominal head. When it comes to real one, real is the prime minister. Is the prime minister. So we have two executives, that is the real and the nominal. Then it comes then this is the first feature. Okay, first feature. Then when it comes to the second feature would be collective responsibility. Collective responsibility. ए ऊपर भी बहुत क्वेश्चंस आछी even in your UPSC and OPSC exams. Collective responsibility. The members are answerable. Members of the Lok Sabha are members the council of ministers. You can say the council of ministers are directly responsible to the Lok Sabha. So it says collective responsibility of council of ministers to the Lok Sabha. So they are directly responsible to Lok Sabha. Then third says about the majority party rule. The majority party rule. Majority party rule kona? That whoever wins, the party who wins the majority of seats, he forms the government. That is the majority party rule. Then fourth says the membership. Membership. Membership of kiye? Every minister should be a member of the parliament. Okay, every minister should be a member of the parliament, and if he is not the member of the parliament, he should ensure that he becomes a member of the parliament of parliament meaning either house of the parliament within 6 months. Okay, either the house of the parliament within 6 months. I hope I do not have to write it, you will know it. Then comes when we come to the question. So question says the presence of nominal and real executive. So this statement is right. Then says the membership of the ministers in the legislature. Yes, the membership of the ministers in the legislature. Then says the separation of powers between the union and the state government. No, it is not the right one. Then it comes to independent judiciary system. Independent judiciary system is our federal feature. So आम्ही जो federal features discuss करें, then we'll know it. अभी जाना there are 4 features of the parliamentary form of government, that is the presence of nominal and real executive. Then comes the collective responsibility of the council of ministers to the Lok Sabha. To the Lok Sabha, not the parliament. There are certain questions where say that collective responsibility of council of ministers to the parliament. No, it is not to the parliament, it is to the Lok Sabha. Okay. Then majority party rule, that whichever party wins the majority number of seats, highest number of seats, they form the government. Then membership, that is every minister is should be a member of the parliament, and even if he is not, then he should become a member of the parliament within 6 months. Okay. So this question, so which will be the right one? 1 and 2, that is option A will be the right one. Then here comes the last question. Then it comes the last question. I know time hai galani, but we'll discuss the last question. Okay. With reference to the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005, consider the following statements. Answer it nicely. I will not be saying the statements. Which of the following statement given above are correct? 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 3. Koda correct habo. Which one will be the right one? कौन होगा आंसर? आंसर कौन हबो आरो खुशी says 1 2 3 thanks Alipta I want the answer last question of the day that is related to the protection of women from domestic violence act 2005 answer karo so most I guess both the khushis have said that 1 2 3 are correct even Dr. Strange has said that 1 2 3 are correct so we'll see the question says about the protection of women from domestic violence act 2005 so first statement देखिए that is in 1999 the laws collective a group of law students and activists after nationwide consultation took the lead in drafting the domestic violence prevention of protection bill yes this statement is right those who have studied your class 8 NCERTs okay class 8 NCERT re eta achi that is about the protection of women from domestic violence act 2005 it says so this statement eventually becomes right then comes um, the next statement second statement that is the protection of women from domestic violence act was introduced in parliament in 2002 and the bill came into effect in 2006 yes the bill came into effect in 2006 so this statement is right एथरे किछि डिस्कस करियार किछि नै then comes the third statement which says this is a criminal law aimed at providing relief to millions of women including wives mothers daughters and sisters affected by violence in their homes okay so this is so there is a twist in it this is not a criminal law it is a civil law it is a civil law so this statement is wrong when you go through your NCERTs do read the statements carefully because this is not a criminal law this is a civil law which aims at providing relief to the millions of women it does not say about any punishments it says about providing relief to the millions of women wives mother daughters and sisters affected by violence in their homes then when it comes to criminal laws the judiciary will do that it is done by the parliament or the legislatures so that's why it is a civil law so this statement is wrong so first option combo 1 and 2 is the right one okay so there are certain things छोटो छोटो जिनस रे भूल हे जाए which is very okay but जते भूल करियो सेते जानिबो भी that केमती approach करियर अछि so no issue with it I hope you like the session and मु बहुत ही questions आन देथिली but still everything everything is less when it comes to your practicing questions that's why the visual slides were incredibly helpful okay thanks Kushi for your feedback thank you so much I hope you have discussed most of the things which I guess will be helpful to you and even in your exams because NCERT is the foundation of our exam कहिया गले where you can learn the basic concepts जोड़ा तमे I know those who have read the Lakshmikant they will know it very better but NCERT is also a holds a very important place because NCERT ru बहुत questions आसे which तमु लागे that it is very easy but sometimes the questions come in such a manner that it becomes difficult to the aspirant who is even practicing for so many years because he or she feels that it is very easy so I can attempt the question but the demand of the question says something else so we have to read the question very nicely then approach the question so thank you so much for for watching this and even answering the questions thank you everyone who have like answered the questions and you have done a great job Thank you so much. We'll meet the next Thursday. Thank you. I hope you have a great day ahead.